on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good morning, it's Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. On the news this morning, Rivers CLO alleges President Tinubu is benefiting from the Rivers political crisis. ADC criticizes FG over silence on Venezuela. Renovation work begins at Rivers State Secretariat. Rwanda takes over waste evacuation in part of Port Harcourt. And on the foreign scene, Trump weighs military option to acquire Greenland. Details of these and more after this break. Now, as political disagreements deepen between Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, the Civil Liberty Organization CLO says President Bola Tinubu is politically benefiting from the renewed tension in the state. This is according to the state chairman of the organization, Sonny Dada. While giving his thoughts on the growing rift between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the FCT Minister, he spoke with Nigeria Info FM correspondent Soebi Oruware.
And in all of this, the person to be held responsible is the president. The president has turned Rivers State political abattoir because at the end of the day, he is the one that will benefit from all of these things. How? He now has a choice, either to use the governor or to use Wike, since all of them are now singing on your mandate we shall stand. As you can see, the governor and his supporters are now fully mobilizing for the president. Wike and his own supporters are also now fully mobilizing to the president. At the end of the day, the president is the one that is benefiting from this crisis.
Dada says the ongoing political crisis is already affecting governance and the welfare of residents of Rivers State. He points to the delay in presenting the 2026 appropriation bill as evidence that government activities are being disrupted.
But my worry is, what is the impact of their fight on Rivers people? And it is already affecting governors, as you can see. Almost all the states in the Federation have released their 2026 budgets. Governors have signed the bills into law and they have become an act, and we have already entered January. So government is already running. But here in Rivers State, we are still talking about on your mandate we shall stand. Things that doesn't put food on the table of the average Rivers man.
According to the CLO chairman, the prolonged crisis has already created a situation where three different individuals are now exercising influence over the affairs of Rivers State, a development he describes as unhealthy for democracy and contrary to constitutional order. And now the Eneka Youth Congress EYC has distanced itself from recent publication and outburst by the chairman of the National Youth Council of Nigeria Rivers State Chapter, Bobo Chimenem Nwolo, describing them as misleading and politically motivated. Speaking during an emergency meeting on Tuesday, the President General of the Congress, Chigonum Ifechukwu, says Nwolo is not recognized by the Eneka Youth Congress. He adds that Nwolo's comments tend to stir tension and threaten peace and progress in the community. Chukwu also describes the remarks as disrespectful to the office of the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo, Senator John Mbata.
They are attention of the youth of Eneka has been drawn to the publication made by one Mr. Bobo Chimenewolo. Is not known and recognized in the Youth Congress of Eneka Clan. The Eneka Youth Congress is holistically aware that the speech is politically motivated, and it's unfortunate that because of his personal interest and gain, he is attempting to undermine the unity, peace, and progress of Eneka Clan, as well as dishonoring our dear father and leader.
Chukwu is demanding that Wallo withdraw his statement and tender an apology to the Eneka clan and Senator John Mbata within 48 hours.
We hereby vehemently call on Mr. Bobo Chimenewolo to, within the next 48 hours, publicly withdraw and tender an unreserved apology to Eneka clan and the most distinguished Senator John Azota Mbata. We as Congress have consciously resolved not to join issues with Bobo Chimenewolo. However, we shall not allow any egocentric, power-hungry and politically influenced son of our dear clan to dishonor any reputable son of the clan, especially our leader, who has to the growth and development of Eneka clan.
Meanwhile, the National Treasurer of the Ijaw National Congress, INC, Philip Brown Ago, says Rivers people will decide the political future of both Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike in the 2027 general elections. Brown Ago spoke to our correspondent.
The FCT minister should allow Rivers people to decide who their governor will be. We have never, as Rivers people, any power of attorney to go and enter into any agreement with either Siminalayi Fubara, the governor, or any other person whatsoever. Nobody has that right. It's a constitutional provision. The constitution did not bar the governor for running for second tenure. So no individual can do so except the voting populace.
Brown Ago insists that no political agreement between the two leaders can override the will of the people. He adds that any agreement being relied upon by the FCT minister to carry out political activities across Rivers State is not recognized by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And now residents of Port Harcourt have also weighed in on the crisis. Some fault Minister Wike for interfering in state politics, arguing that as a non-member of the APC, he has no right to influence the party's internal affairs. Others disagree, saying both Wike and the APC National Secretary Ajibola Bashiru have the right to express opinions, noting that Rivers State is not a one-man state.
Wike has no right again to disturb any person in the APC because this man have already changed his party to APC.
Wike does not have any power to tell him anything because he's not an APC member. His only APC member can tell him whatever thing he's supposed to do. So as you can see, Bashiru have all right to tell Wike that he has no right in Rivers State to say anything because he's not an APC member.
If Wike was not appointed or put same as the governor of Rivers State, doesn't mean he has rights to interfere in the matter of APC. APC is a political party, and whatever agreement Wike had with Sim Fubara, that was a PDP. Now that Sim has switched to the camp to APC, I think whatever agreement they have is cancelled.
Both Bashiru, both Wike has the right because this state is not one-man state.
Now recall that on Monday, the APC National Secretary Ajibola Bashiru said the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike lacks the right to interfere in the affairs of the APC in Rivers State. Bashiru asked Wike to quit his ministerial appointment and focus on what he described as an obsession with Rivers State politics. His comment followed Wike's warning to Bashiru to stop interfering in Rivers politics, with a threat that his hands will burn if he continues. Now, we're not done with the APC. An APC chieftain in Rivers State, Darlington Wuju, has aligned with the party's national secretary, Ajibola Bashiru, insisting that non-members have no right to interfere in the party's internal affairs. Speaking on Channels Television, Wuju argues that the APC now has a sitting governor in Rivers State and that by the party's constitution, a long-standing convention, the governor automatically becomes the leader of the party in the state. He says it is inappropriate for a non-APC member to attempt to influence how the party relates with its governor or manages its internal affairs. According to him, such actions undermine internal cohesion. Wuju adds that he is confident the APC National Working Committee will adopt Bashiru's position on Rivers State. Well, away from all the issues in the APC and while political tensions dominate the headlines, work is quietly progressing at the Rivers State Secretariat. Technicians have begun mounting scaffolding around the complex ahead of full rehabilitation works. Nigeria Info correspondent reports that while scaffolding is being erected in part of the complex, skeletal renovation work is already ongoing inside offices and bathrooms. Now, an expatriate engineer on the project who spoke anonymously says the rehabilitation is expected to last between 1.5 to 2 years. However, he complains of a shortage of workers, noting that some staff traveled for the Christmas holiday and are yet to return. The Rivers State government, through the office of the head of the civil service, announced the commencement of renovation works at the Secretariat in December. In a statement signed by the head of service, Dr. Iyengi Brown, the government approved that only essential staff should report for duty at the complex. Recall that in October 2025, the state government cancelled the initial contract for the renovation, electrofitting and furnishing of the Secretariat complex awarded by the former sole administrator, Ibok Ete Ibas. The government also directed the refund of the 20 billion naira mobilization fee paid to contractors and approved the revalidation of the rebidding process for all 4 contracts through advertisement in national dailies. And now attention is also turning to the environment in Port Harcourt. The River State Waste Management Agency says it has taken over waste evacuation services in some parts of the city due to poor performance and negligence by some contractors. While the managing director of Rwama, Dr. Ibimi Nawokoma, in a statement says the move is aimed at ensuring a clean and healthy environment. It says with effect from Monday, Rwama has taken over waste evacuation on Amadiama to Abloma Jetty, New Airport Road by Obiriwere to C4I, Rupoko Roundabout to Salvation Ministry Church, Rupoko Oboro Junction to Tank along the East-West Road and St. John's to Iwafe Waterside. Still to come, land grabbing activities will get us talking in Ikwere local government areas. The chairman is talking tough. Do stay with us.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. The African Democratic Congress (ADC) has criticized the federal government over Nigeria's silence on recent development in Venezuela, describing it as embarrassing and unworthy of the country's status in Africa. The party's National Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, says Nigeria has lost its voice as a principled leader of on the continent and in West Africa under the current administration. He argues that the crisis in Venezuela is a defining moment in global politics and that Nigeria's failure to take a position diminishes its international standing. Abdullahi also questions the president's silence, suggesting that Nigeria's earlier security decisions have weakened its confidence to speak on global issues. The United States recently carried out a military operation in Venezuela that led to the arrest of President Nicolas Maduro, drawing condemnation from several countries, while Nigeria is yet to issue an official response. And now the chairman of Ikwere local government area, Charles Nwobodo, has reiterated his administration's commitment to tackling land grabbing and illegal encroachment across the area. Nwobodo stated this on Tuesday at the council secretariat in Ifechukwu after members of the Okwe family from Omukenke, Omuike in Alo brought before him individuals suspected to be involved in land grabbing. He warned all those engaging in land grabbing within Ikwere local government area to desist immediately or face decisive action from the council. The council chairman specifically cautions one Tony to withdraw from all land grabbing activities in the area or risk the full weight of the law.
Ikwere local government, we will not tolerate anything land grabbing, and we cannot sit here and somebody come from nowhere and come and grab the land of our people. If he thinks he has the money and they don't have, Ikwere local government will use Ikwere local government money and fight him. I am against land grabbing. So please, I want to beg, I know that matter is in the police now, but however, they should tell the Tony or anybody who is involved. I do not want to go into taking some drastic decisions now, but as a local government, my concern is that we cannot stand and allow anybody to come and grab people's land.
Nwobodo has also distanced himself from any involvement in land grabbing, insisting that his administration is focused on delivering the dividends of democracy to the people of Ikwere.
I know nothing. My own is to stay here and administer government to the people of Ikwere local governments. I don't like land buying. How much you want to go and grab? So tell the person who has added my name to remove my name. That I don't enjoy where I want to take something that everybody will be cursing me and abusing me. Go for me, IPO. Yes, sir. Tell the people to leave the land of my people alone. They should try other places. They should leave their land alone. If they want to buy the land, they should go and meet them and approach them. If they say they want to sell, they say they don't want to sell. Leave their land alone. They shouldn't force them to say their things. Because if not, if that thing repeats, whatever they do, if we go to court, I will follow them. All of us will be part of it.
Well, we're not done with in Ikwere local government area. This time, let's tell you that the chairman of Ikwere local government area, Charles Nwobodo, has warned residents against paying council revenue to unauthorized persons or agents. Now, in a statement personally signed by him, Nwobodo says anyone found making or receiving illegal revenue payment will be dealt with in accordance with the law. He stresses that all council revenue must be paid directly into the Ikwere Local Government Council account number, that is 191-488-3732, Access Bank, through the revenue chairman, Mo Igwe. Nwobodo adds that any individual demanding revenue at the local government under the guise of the state government will face legal action. The council chairman further warns that defaulters who fail to pay their revenue before the commencement of enforcement for the 2026 revenue year risk having their properties impounded by the revenue team. He also clarified that sanitation revenue must be paid directly into the council's account and not to the state government or any unauthorized revenue agent. And now, former president of the Movement for the Survival of the Ogoni People, Mosop Lebosi Piabara, says Ogoni people have remained firm on their long-standing demands since the beginning of Ogoni Day celebration. Piabara spoke in an interview with our correspondent, Soebi Oruwada, while highlighting the importance of the annual event. He describes Ogoni Day as a symbol of unity and a reminder of the shared aspirations of the Ogoni people.
The issue that was raised is the issue we are still dealing with. On the environmental angle here, there's substantial progress that have been made in terms of the campaign, in terms of the report, in terms of trying to implement the report. On the political front, of course, we are still struggling, we're still fighting. On the economic front, looking back at 1990 and today, I can say that economically, the people appreciated far more than what was there in 1990. But I think a lot still needs to be done to improve in terms of the general economic empowerment of the area.
Piabara says Ogoni Day will continue to serve as a platform for the liberation of the Ogoni people from marginalization and socio-economic neglect. In the same vein, the convener of Ogoni Environmental Watch, Stephen Debara, identifies divisions among key stakeholders as the major challenge facing the Ogoni struggle. Debara tells a correspondent that internal disagreement have slowed progress towards achieving the long-standing goals of the Ogoni people.
Struggle for emancipation of Ogoni people, for environmental justice, political justice, for economic justice for our people has been a focal point as Ogoni people. And because we have multiplicity of leadership, yesterday's Ogoni Day celebration was also a reminder of the reasons why we are where we are as Ogoni people. They were divisive voices, but I thank God this year we were able to have all those who laying claims to leadership of Mosop under one umbrella and to have them say a word.
However, he calls on leaders and groups across Ogoni land to put aside their differences and work together to achieve meaningful and lasting results for the struggle started by their forefathers. To security matters now, the family of a 74-year-old man, Egesi Lazarus Ifai, currently detained by the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department in Port Harcourt, is calling for justice. Lazarus was reportedly taken into custody on Monday after a neighbor identified as Anselm was found dead in his apartment on December 21, 2025. The incident occurred at Circular Road, Iriebe, Housing Estate in River State. Speaking to journalists, one of his sons, Kelechi Egesi, says his father was detained after honoring an invitation from the SEIID. He explains that the invitation followed an allegation of threat made against his father by the sisters of the late Anselm.
When the sisters came around again, my dad now told them, okay, see, your brother have a land that he wants to sell. And I know the place around the baby. Okay, after his burial, I will show you people the place so that you can know what to do. So she was insisting that my dad should show them. I don't know how it was not transferred to the state CID, and they invited my dad. So we came today, not knowing that the girls and one of the lawyers have already been here, wrote an allegation on my dad, and my dad threatened the girl. Now as I speak now, my dad has been detained for a false allegation.
Now, Kelechi is appealing to the River State Commissioner of Police and the Inspector General of Police to order the unconditional release of his father, insisting that he has no connection with the death of Anselm. He also narrates how the body of the deceased was discovered inside his apartment.
They enter the house, they check the parlor, they now enter the room. There's a corridor that leads to other rooms. When they enter the room, they just saw him lying down flat dead on the floor there, inside the room there. So everybody screamed, shouted, and they all went out. I said, okay, let them go and report to the police, which my dad now involved the estate chairman. So when they went there to Oyibo police station, my dad and the estate chairman wrote statement. After the statement, they now detained my dad and the estate chairman. They finally allowed them to go, which they all left.
When contacted, the spokesperson of the River State Police Command, CSP Grace Iringikoko, says she will get back to our correspondent. Well, away from that, the Umuchioma and Umwegono families of Ojia community in Ozuzu, a local government area, have dismissed claims by Joseph Amadi, Godwin Amadi, and 6 others, allegedly speaking for Ojia community over the ownership of Ozo Ebelu land. In a statement signed by Adolphus Amadi, Jonathan Eke, and Ojia community chairman Precious Amadi, the families say the publication wrongly names previous Amadi, Innocent Eke, Henry Amadi, Monday Isaiah, Adolphus Amadi, and Kenneth Amakoloa, accusing them of actions capable of causing crisis. They clarified that these individuals are not members of either the Umuchioma or Umwegono families. Ojia village, they note, is made up of 3 families, Umuchioma, Umwegono, and Omwamo. Now, according to the families, a 1976 suit at the River State High Court between Umuchioma, Umwegono, and Umwamo led to a 1997 judgment declaring Ozo Ebelu land belongs communally to all 3 families. The land was not partitioned until recently when the Omoamo family, through Godwin and Joseph Amadi, allegedly engaged a real estate company to sell the land without the consent of Umuchioma and Umegono. This action triggered another lawsuit against the Omoamo family and the real estate company for trespass, currently pending at the Okehi High Court. While the case is ongoing, the Omoamo family reportedly petitioned the Eche Anti-Land Grabbing and Land Acquisition Management Committee to partition the land. The families say the committee acted without properly hearing all parties and excluded key members, including Isaiah Amadi. The Umuchioma and Umegono families insist the matter should be resolved by the High Court, which they say is better placed to appoint neutral overseers. They stress they are not opposed to sharing the land in line with the 1997 court ruling, but reject the committee's involvement, insisting only the court should decide the issue. We're going another short commercial break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the news. Use of military force, according to the White House. Now, the White House, in a chat with the BBC, says acquiring Greenland, a semi-autonomous territory of fellow NATO member Denmark, is viewed as a national security priority for the United States. The statement comes hours after several European leaders issued a joint declaration back in Denmark, which has rejected Washington's interest in the Arctic island. Trump reiterated over the weekend that the United States needs Greenland for security reasons. In response, Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen warns that any attack by the United States would effectively spell the end of NATO. Now, this is news this hour, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. We reported that the Rivers CLO has alleged that President Tinubu is benefiting from the Rivers political crisis. You also heard the ADC criticizing the FG over its silence on Venezuela, calling it embarrassing. And we also told you that renovation work has begun at Rivers State Secretariat. The news was edited by Ufoma Ewamono. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili. Many thanks for listening.